Hello, I'm Allie Duzette, and over here I have my lovely assistant, Miss Catherine. She is teething a molar and will not leave my side today, um, no matter how hard I try. So anyway, okay, today I wanted to talk about chakras and how to feel them. We can all do this exercise, and it's one of my favorite exercises to do. You're gonna copy me, okay? Rub your hands together back and forth. We're waking up all the nerve endings in our hands and fingers. There's over 14,000 nerve endings in each finger, so it's a big deal to do this. And while we do that, I'll just tell you that I have a friend that is very skeptical of my work in bioenergetic medicine and did not believe in chakras, and I taught him this technique, and he was very stunned to see that it worked and he could feel his own chakras. So it doesn't matter if you're a believer, doesn't matter. You can feel your own chakras if they're there, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But okay, what you're gonna do is kind of squish your energy now and open it and squish it. And take some deep breaths. You should feel like a little bit of a compression when you get really close. Okay, and if you don't, then you just keep rubbing your fingers until you can kind of feel something. Eat that, okay. Okay. So there's two steps here. We're going to be using our hands to sense with our nerves. The nerves in our hands are going to be picking up this information and transmitting it to our brains, where we're going to interpret it and realize, holy cow, I'm feeling a chakra. And then the other half of it is going to be our breath. So go ahead and take some really big deep breaths for me, please. Okay. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm so excited. So there are hundreds of chakras in the human body, or around the human body as well. Chakra just means vortex. And they're vortexes or vortices of energy that are in our body. Each one corresponds to all sorts of different stuff. Like a body part and emotions and different stuff of that nature. So for example, your knee has a knee chakra, your eyes have eye chakras, your nose has its own chakra, like your nostrils have their own chakras. Everything has its own chakra. But most people just work with 7 chakras. And some people branch out and work with 12. I work with obviously a lot more than that because I know about them, but most people don't. It's fine. The 7 basic ones are like kind of good enough, you know. You can be a really excellent energy worker just working with the 7. So actually, here I have a model. Oh, can you be my own model, baby? Do you want to stand up here in front of a computer? Okay. Here we go. Ooh la la. Okay, so there are 7 basic chakras that are called the cerebrospinal chakras, okay? And they start at the crotch, in the womb area under the belly button, the solar plexus area, the heart, the throat, the third eye, or the forehead, and the very top of the head. Okay, so those are where the 7 chakras are. And everybody has them. They correspond with nervous ganglia. So, you know, you have a big collection of nerves, like nervous, like blobs of nerves, nervous ganglia. I mean, obviously at the crotch and in the womb and in that solar plexus area, just like in, I mean, that's why in, you know, miscongeniality, like solar plexus instep, you know, her thing, neck, groin, is that it? Sing, anyway. And your heart has a bunch of nerves, your neck full of its, I mean, your thyroid, your parathyroid, your various different you know, glands and your vocal cords, everything in there has a bunch of nervous ganglia. And that's also where it carries all the blood to your brain, one of the most important parts of your body. It's the tube between your brain and your heart. Your third eye is where all your brain and thinking happens, and where your intuitive insights come from. And then the crown also is brain related, pituitary gland related, and connects you to God, the universe, source, the divine, all of that. So so those are in the physical body. That is kind of a brief introduction to them, but they also I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I was so excited to make this video, and now I have this like little whiny baby with me doing it. Here, work with this. This is so fun. Okay, and so each chakra, you know, corresponds to different symbolic parts of your life. For example, the heart, I bet you can never guess what that corresponds to, but relationships, you know, emotions, that kind of thing. Your throat has to do with what you're speaking. Your solar plexus has to do with your identity. The root at your crotch has to deal with issues of survival, procreation, the basic foundations of life, and so on. So anyway, all of that's a much bigger scope than I wanted to deal with today. Today, I just want to teach you how to feel your chakras, but in case you didn't know what they were, now you know. Okay, so our hands, open up. Okay, this is a very easy technique. You can practice on yourself, practice on your child, practice on whoever will let you. Maybe they'll think you're weird, but maybe they won't. You just never know. Well, they'll probably think you're a little bit weird, but maybe they'll get over it. Okay. So another thing I like to do, most people don't know this, but when you are feeling your chakras, you're actually using your own hand chakras. And so I like to kind of like wake mine up by whacking them. So if I ever do an in-person, you know, hands-on work for you, which is unlikely because I don't really do that very much anymore, you'll see that sometimes I'll take my hands away. I never touch a client. I only hover over, as I'll teach you right now. But sometimes I'll feel like my chakras are doing something weird. So I open them back up by doing that. Okay. And so what you're going to do is so easy. You're just going to take really deep breaths and hover your hand. We'll start with the throat. Okay. You're going to hover it just maybe like an inch or two above your throat. And you're going to breathe. And this is the throat chakra that we're going to feel. Okay, so as you breathe very slowly and deeply as you can, as slowly as you can, you're going to start moving your hands up and down and like around this chakra. And what you're going to notice is that over here, the air is going to feel like emptier. And when you're over the area, it's going to feel kind of like thicker or fuller. Okay, so you'll feel emptiness, fullness, emptiness, fullness, emptiness. And now what we can do is go on down to the heart and just feel that feeling, and you're gonna kind of feel that same kind of fullness. Typically the chakras feel different from each other, and that's not just a function of that they're different chakras, but also everybody's chakras are in a different condition, you know. For example, somebody that talks a lot but has really shut off their heart might have a really big energy feeling right here, and you might have trouble feeling anything in there because they've shut down their feeling. Maybe they've shut down the functioning of that chakra, which happens on the subconscious level. Or maybe they are really open-hearted, and then you're going to feel all this big energy emanating from this heart chakra, that kind of thing. In addition to that kind of difference, you can also feel differences in kind of tone of the chakra, if you will. And so what I mean by that is they might feel like happy to you, or sad, or like angry, or that kind of thing. And so you can feel a lot of different feelings when you really tune into it, and it just takes practice. I'll escape from her. Sorry, guys. So it just takes some practice to get used to feeling the differences in tonality, chakra to chakra. This is the exercise that I want you to do, is practice moving your hands through each chakra. And so you start at your root, where your legs connect, and then up through the womb area, up through the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye. You're going to find it like right in here, and then the crown on the top of your head. And go really slowly and breathe really deeply and just feel what you feel and pay attention to it. You might be surprised at what you find. Now, if you have trouble feeling a particular chakra, it can be because the chakra has what I call fled. And so in cases of trauma, sometimes your chakras will kind of just up and leave. They're like, whoa, boy, like this is too crazy for me. I can't handle it. And they will shut down and just leave. And they leave the body. They're still energetically attached to a person. So like you still have a heart chakra, even if your parent died and it was so traumatic that your heart chakra fled. You still have a heart chakra, but it won't be in your body. So if you feel an emptiness where there should be a chakra, that can be an indication that the chakra has fled. If a chakra has fled, it can be repaired. Everything can be fixed. And it's just a matter of, identifying the trauma, figuring out why it happened, resolving it, resolving any issues that the body might have with the chakra coming back. Sometimes the body itself rejects a chakra because it's like, whoa, like you're the one in charge of processing all of this and you're doing a crappy job and I don't want you here anymore. And then the body won't take it back. The body can say, well, it's great that you resolved the trauma in the heart chakra, but what about my trauma? Like, I still remember that happening. I remember the heart chakra failing us when it really counted, and we needed the heart chakra functioning to process the grief from the passing of our loved one. So then you have to work with the body and sort all of that stuff out. It's kind of a multi-step process, but it's possible. It's not difficult. It's simple. It just can take several steps. But okay, so there's your homework. Feel your chakras. See what's going on with them. This is a great way also to engage in kind of a healing work with your chakras. Just holding your hands in that space and imagining light coming down from the heavens into your hands and into that chakra, just having that visualization and holding space for that can actually shift the functioning of your chakras, which can be a really beautiful thing. Again, like if you're having trouble emotionally connecting with others and you send in that light by hovering over your heart, that can actually repair the chakra naturally and help it heal up. And it's just so beautiful. I don't know. Try it. Let me know how it goes. But yeah, go ahead and practice feeling chakras on yourself and feeling chakras on others. It takes some practice when you get started, but over time you will develop more and more sensitivity. Practice makes perfect. So you just practice for a few minutes every day until you can just scan over somebody and you can feel the warps in their energy field and in their other chakras. It's very cool. It's a very useful trick. I probably shouldn't have called it a trick, but it can be very useful. When my kids are sick or something, and I can just put my hand over them and scan their bodies and see what's going on from a physical scan. That's nice. It's kind of a trippy way to introduce people to energetic medicine. I remember I was at a friend's house. This friend is like at least probably 40 years older than me. But I was visiting with her and we were sitting on the floor and she asked what I did. And I said, like energetic medicine. And she said, what do you mean? And I just kind of like did this and I like scanned her leg and I was like, well, it looks like your leg, it looks like your knee has a problem in this like exact spot. And she was like, oh my gosh, it does. I ran all the cartilage out of that knee and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it's kind of fun. And as you practice and become more sensitive, you can become pretty accurate with it. And that can be very useful in your practice and your everyday life and helping your children when they get sick and everything like that. So that's your homework for today, and enjoy it. Let me know how it goes. I hope you have a great day.